What up, Space Pimps? It's me, Farrokh, coming at you with another video. A couple days ago, we had the 10-year anniversary of Michael Joseph Jackson's death. Now, those of you that have known me for a long time know that Michael Jackson has been in my life since I was 6 years old. He was there for me without even knowing me. I had a rough childhood. It wasn't rough, but it was rough-ish because of my anxiety and my need to please my parents as much as I can and, failing to do so every time. Um, I always turned to him. I feel very emotional. And that's why I prolonged doing this video for a while. But I always turned to him. When I was a child and I felt some sort of way, I would put his CD in my Walkman, put the earphones in my ears, and just feel like someone was there for me. And I know he has done that. Sorry. I know he has done that for a lot of other people too. That he has touched a lot of hearts without even knowing anybody. That was just the person he was. I have to grow some balls, one sec. Ugh. Okay, I grew them. So, sorry about that. That's the reason why I didn't want to do this video so soon. I wanted to give myself some time because, this is just off tangent, but I remember the exact time and exactly where I was when I found out that he passed away. And I remember crying and crying, and my mom doesn't, my mom gave me a hug. And, I felt like I lost someone. Oh my gosh, I just grew some balls and now they're gone again. Whew! I lost someone very close to me. That's what I felt. Because all throughout my childhood, he was there. And it wasn't even just like the history era or the bad era. It was like Motown Michael, like old Michael, like child Michael, and, someone in the dark Michael. You know what I mean? Like, oh, he's just such a wonderful person. And he's touched a lot of different people. So with that being said, that was a shitty introduction, and I'm sorry, but I'm gonna try my best not to be emotional, because I don't want my emotions to get in the way of the reading. So I'm gonna grow some balls again, and girl, we gotta get started, honey. So I made a nice little space for him to attract his spirit. Now, Michael is a trickster, and all throughout me setting this tapestry down and setting up my my reading, things kept going missing. I kept losing my pen. I felt like he was playing tricks on me. Like he was just a little trickster, because Michael was known for being a prankster. At his heart, at his core, he was a child. All throughout his life, he felt his inner child. It was because he was deprived of that through his life that he felt like when he grew up, he didn't have a proper childhood, so he felt like he was a child. I relate to that. I know a lot of us do. A lot of us relate to that. There's nothing wrong with that, being a child throughout your life, to compensate for the childhood you never had. Now, Michael really likes Grease. I know this because in the music video Librarian Girl, he had, John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John in it and stuff. So I have the script, the nice little script to Grease. Thought it might attract him. My little brother, I like to collect little drawings that children have done. I think they're very interesting. See, look, like I always have them. I feel like children's drawings say a lot about their state of mind. My little brother drew this. He was making fun of his teacher. So I thought that this might give him a kick. So I left that there. Just a little doodle that a child has made. Cracker Jacks. I feel like he probably would have eaten those as a kid and played with the tattoos. Now, for the CDs, don't laugh at me. I still have fucking CDs. I'm an old lady mama. Of course, we have Diana Ross and the Supremes to attract him, because Diana Ross was like a mother to him. We have Blood on the Dance Floor, which was a big fuck you to Sony and the music industry and Illuminati. Like, look at him. The checkered floors, and like those of you that are like woke to the Illuminati, like keen to what they're doing, know that the checkered floors are always a signifier for the Illuminati. So for Micheal to even have this CD artwork where he's trampling like victoriously, look at that, he's like viciously trampling on the checkered floors, for me that's so powerful, so powerful. Like he doesn't want, he knows that there's evil about, and he was going to combat it and warn us. And that's, I think I'm getting ahead of myself, part of the reason why he passed away. We also, of course, have the Jackson 5, my babies. This is my childhood right here. Michael Jackson Gold. Of course, we have Gladys Knight and the Pips. That would attract him. Golden Legends. Marvin Gaye would attract him too. Motown, anything Motown. So I left these here to attract his spirit. Motown, CDs. Also, a couple of his CDs. I've got Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. Video single. Because he was very about the visual as well. So I had auditory bait, so to speak, and visual bait, so to speak. Rock With You, Thriller, Beat It. And these are like really cool, just to kind of go off subject. These are so cool. You get to like turn them over and play them on your CD player and then put them in your DVD player and you get to watch the video. Isn't that awesome? And Beat It. And I have my 1985 Michael Jackson calendar that I dumpster dived for. That's him and Bubbles. Poor Bubbles. Here's Michael. Oh, my baby. I'm gonna leave it on this one because this was the one that I felt more attracted to when I opened it. I feel like Michael is very somber. He's so somber. Got crystals, selenite, sunstone for childhood. I feel like this is a really good stone that would attract him. Multivite because he's a star child. I don't think he is of this world. We've got jade to heal him, wellness. Amethyst, marble, evil eye, gnome little toy to help attract him because he's a child at heart. A crown, you can't see it, but it's a crown because he's the fucking king of pop, bitch. Some gold, regalness, Egyptian, because, you know, he had a fondness for Egyptian culture. The Remember the Time video was very Egyptian based and it was so beautiful. If you haven't watched it, watch it. We got some toys, Halloween. I feel like he loved Halloween. And some cologne. This is the scent that I thought would smell the most like him. I'm not going to spray it because I sprayed it outside and smelt it and tested it. But Kiki is in the room, my little birdie Maliki. I don't want to aggravate his lungs. His lungs. That came out so long. His lungs. Okay, sorry. So it's Brutes cologne. It smells really good. It's like it's very fruity. We have some amber beads with insects and animals in, and Michael really likes insects. Not insects, but animals. He was very much an animal. I think he might have even been like clairvoyant in terms of speaking to animals, like, you know, animal psychics kind of thing. Joys of the garden, because Michael really likes the garden. He had, oh, what is this? I don't remember this. Oh, yeah, okay, sorry. Sorry about that. Okay. Michael really liked nature, gardening, and he had a big ranch, so have this little joys of the garden, little poetry about the gardens. We've got, excuse me, just coughed in your ear, my bad. We've got The Adventures of Robin Hood, because who wouldn't like Robin Hood at the time where he was growing up? And the complete science fiction treasury of H.G. Wells, because I feel like Michael really liked science fiction. So that is about it. and we're good to get started. I'm going to start pulling some cards. I'll be right back, and we're going to get this reading started. I'm not quite sure how this is going to go, so bear with me. I'm going to try a different layout from the Channeling Marilyn Monroe video. Let's see how it goes. I'll be right back, okay? That one. What up, Space Pimps? I'm back. So I have the same kind of questions for the tarot portion that I asked Marilyn for Micheal, which was, the signifier card, the childhood, inner self, time in Hollywood, and on the day of the passing. So for this signifier card, we pulled the King of Cups. Now, those of you that don't know Micheal's natal chart, he is a Virgo sun sign with a Pisces moon and a Pisces rising. So for him to be like the King of Cups, that means that he was at his prime. Like he had ascended so much through his personality, like his inner self, his moon and his rising. Had leveled up so much and has ascended so much that he became the king of cups, king of pogs. I'm really old, bitch. King of pogs, girl. I killed myself. Oh Jesus. No, I meant the king of cups, baby. That he had ascended to the king of cups rather than being like the page of cups or the knight of cups. So the king of cups is someone who's very emotionally balanced. I feel like he didn't need to ascend so much in his life. He was born that way. Michael Jackson is either, I'm not quite sure, I'm on the fence, either a very wise, multiple reincarnated soul where he had been reincarnated a lot of times, or he is a star child where he is not used to the human experience because he was reincarnated once, due to him being of another dimension in his past life. Either way, I left a multivite here for him to kind of attract that energy, soak it up, you know what I mean? So the King of Cups, I feel like he grew up like that, like he busted out of the womb like, honey, I am here, like he was always emotionally balanced. He was always diplomatic. He was always compassionate. He was always there for everyone. If you guys know any Pisces friends, you know that their intuition is very strong. So I feel like as a child, his intuition was so strong. So, 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 so strong. I feel like he had, as a child, a lot of relationships to animals where he would talk to them. I feel silly saying that, but like clairvoyance through animals, where he could communicate with animals and it carried on all throughout his life, but he muted that. I feel like his parents really stifled his spiritual abilities with a lot of this, consumerism, capitalism, music business type junk. So that is his signifier. It's the King of Cups, honey. Now for his childhood, he has the Hermit with the crossing energy of the Ten of Cups. Now, as a child, the Hermit for me, that's very Virgo. That's like his card. So, hi Virgo. He's a Virgo sun. This is him. As a child, he embodied his sun sign so much. He was a perfectionist. He wanted so desperately to have the room to do some soul searching, to have the room to go inward for introspection. He wanted to be alone as a child, not because he didn't want to talk to anyone, but because he wanted to think. I feel like he wanted to think. And the 10 of Pentacles, that's like dynasty building, wealth, family, security, long-term success and contribution. So the childhood was tough because he needed a lot of room to think. He was a thinker. He wanted to make sense of the world. That's what I'm feeling. Like he wanted to make sense of the world and why things were the way they were, and he wanted to feel like he had that time to think about what he wanted to be and who he was at his core, even as a child, but it was always interrupted. Micheal grew up with a lot of people in his household in a really small house in Indiana, so he didn't have a lot of room to think or be alone or, as a child. It was always Kiki! Sorry, Kiki threw something. Kiki! You want to see where he is? He's right there. What did you throw? Why did you throw that? Kiki, you bad boy. He's a goodie, but he's a baddie. Sorry. Anyways, keep going. He didn't have a lot of space to do so, and it was interrupted. He longed for time to withdraw inwards for introspection because there was too many people in the small house. He also felt upset that at a young age, for the Ten of Pentacles, that he was tasked with the responsibility of building up the family dynasty. Like, it was his responsibility to build up the family dynasty. It was his responsibility to be the breadwinner. It was his responsibility to make a name for his family, not just for himself, but for his family. It was never him being single, wanting to contribute to his well-being and his growth. It was always at the expense of his, it was always like he had to take care of the growth of others at the expense of his. Do you know what I mean? He felt like he was the moneymaker, and it took away from his childhood. He felt old. He felt like an adult because he was providing for his family, and it wasn't something that he wanted to do. It was forced. That was the message I got when I was meditating. It was constrained and forced. I feel like as a child, he was forced into this. This is not what he wanted to do. It's not what he wanted to do. As I was meditating, my spirit guide told me that had he not been in the music business, he would probably just have a ranch somewhere, like a small ranch, not like Neverland Ranch, bitch. No, like have a little bit of, animals and a ranch and just live off of the land. That's what I'm getting. So his childhood was really rough, right? Super rough, and then it was forced. He had a relationship with his dad that was very awful, very awful. I'm going to be asking a couple questions in the pendulum section of this reading where it has a lot to do with his dad. Now, his dad, Joseph Jackson, passed away last year, 3 days before the anniversary, which would have been the 9-year anniversary of Michael Jackson's death. So look at that synchronicity, like 3 days before the day that marked Michael Jackson's passing, his dad passed away. And Michael had a really tough relationship with his father. His father forced him, beat him. If he misstepped, he got his ass beat. If he was sensitive and cried or wanted to make friends with his mouse in the house that they were living in, he was beat and the mouse was chopped. Like, his dad was ruthless. His dad just really wanted to get them out there so that he could reap the rewards of their efforts and their talent. His dad was very manipulative and very abusive. He would beat him if he had a flat note. That's why he was such a perfectionist. That's why he had such a hard time with drugs and like being perfect and all that stuff. Like, it's because of his childhood. It's because he was never enough, and he still felt like he was never enough in his adulthood. It carried on into his adulthood. Now, for his inner self, he had the Three of Cups, and the crossing energy was the Magician. Now, the Three of Cups, that's like contribution, cooperation, peace, and working together. And the Magician's just like willpower, manifestation, transformation, having that power to do like inspired action, I feel like that is just like his platform, So he felt he wanted this for himself. This is what he wanted. He wanted the Three of Cups. He wished so much that he grew up with that Three of Cups energy, friendship, celebration, friends, family, cooperation, contribution. working together, peace and harmony in the household, but it never happened. It never happened. So as he kept growing older and progressing through the phases of his life, he felt like because of his Pisces moon and his Pisces rising, being the mater, the mater, I don't know how to say it, but M-A-T, I'm honey, I'm not even gonna spell it, girl. I don't even know. I don't even, you know what I mean? The miter, Kiki. Oh my gosh, Kiki's always ruining my readings and my misspellings and my grammar. He felt like he didn't get to have that in his life, so he wanted to give it to others, he wanted to make sure that everything, like, because he didn't get it in his internal life, he wanted to make sure that it was going to happen in the external world. Like, he wanted to make sure it would happen in the external world. So because he didn't end up getting that in his life and growing up in his childhood, all throughout his adolescence, his adulthood, he felt powerful enough to make a change. He wanted to use his platform to achieve the external wishes of, cooperation, contribution, peace on earth, working together, because he felt like he failed to obtain all of those things, all of those harmonious things in his life with his connections and his relationships. That is very sweet of him to know that, like, some people sometimes when they have bad childhood and they're neglected and they don't have things, when they grow up with greed, they grow up wanting. It's very seldom you find someone who grows up in that environment that when they grow up they want to make life better for others, to make sure that they don't end up getting the same. Sorry, Kiki's dancing. Look at him. He's dancing by Kiki. He made a mess. Kiki, he's like just hopping on his mirror. Aw. Aw. Kiki. He's so sweet. He's such a sweetheart. I left him out because I feel like Micheal likes him. He likes animals. So back to the reading. He felt like it's seldom you find someone that would want to make sure that that doesn't happen to other people. I feel like that's so selfless. That's very selfless and noble. Very noble. And for the magician, he felt like he had that power to manifest. He had that power to make that transformation in the world, to bring about peace on earth. He wanted to use his platform to enforce this Three of Cups energy. He wanted the whole world to just be the Three of Cups, to work together. We wanted to be the Three of Cups. We had so much potential. But I'm glad that he passed away before he saw the mess that we're in now. He would have been severely depressed if he was depressed before. He would have been severely depressed now. For his inner self, or for his child, Kiki really messed up this reading with his antics. Ah! Oh my gosh, he swooped me. He like flew right at my face. Oh, you are crazy. Come. I'm gonna have to start again. So for his time in Hollywood, we have the Strength card and the crossing energy of the Seven of Swords. Now, for the Strength card in Hollywood, I feel like he had to be very strong in Hollywood. It wasn't a life that he wanted, but it was a life that it was enforced upon him. Like, it was forced upon him to be in Hollywood, to be, a celebrity. He didn't want that. That's why he was always incognito, in disguises, trying to just be a normal damn person. So for the Strength card, he had to be strong. He had to be courageous and had to be manipulative and use his power of persuasion and influence and show compassion so people don't see how he's vulnerable and scared and not and weak. He never wanted to seem weak. He always wanted to seem very rigid and strong, even with his choreography, even with his body language. He always wanted to make sure that everything was on point. Now, for the Seven of Swords, this is totally Hollywood energy. he felt betrayed and by Hollywood. There was a lot of deception going on, and I feel like he felt like Hollywood moguls and music industry and Sony in general were getting away with a lot. So he was acting strategically to trump that. That is such I'm so surprised that these cards came out because it lines up so perfectly with what he wanted to achieve in his life. At the end of like closer to the blood on the dance floor phase that I showed you before, he really nailed it to them. He nailed it to those moguls, to those music industry pieces of shit. Kiki, stop playing in the trash. Okay, he's out. He's like in the trash can. I can't keep up with him. Can't keep up with this baby. He's like a mischievous toddler, this bird. Um, so he always felt like he had to act strategically, to make sure he sticks it to them, and gets that message out, that message of, look, there's a lot of deception happening and it's centered around money. All of the problems we have in the world is centered around greed. I tell you this. I tell you this 2 times. All the problems in the world, all the wars, all the disease, all the everything is all centered around greed and a lot of a bunch of different types of rich millionaires, moguls, the dynasties that are controlling everything. Like, I feel like a kook saying it, but it's true. It really is true. Like Illuminati, all of that is so fucking true. It's scary. It's scary because you know that it's happening. They don't even fucking care now that we know that it's happening. Before it was all this big secret and everything. But now they don't even fucking care. They're just like, yeah, we're doing this shit. We're behind the scenes. We're doing all of it. We control everything. So just to be clear, I mean that the music industry and greed and those families are controlling everything, not a specific person or ethnic group. Because I know that that could come across as that, but I mean like money is what is at the center of it. So for his day of passing, he has the hermit energy. Or sorry, the hermit was before. Why did I say hermit? Girl, my spidey sense are tingling. He has the 5 of Cups, and the crossing energy is the Fool card. Now, for the 5 of Cups, I feel like on the day that he passed away, he was upset about something. Now, those of you that know Conrad Murray, that was his doctor, he wasn't really a good doctor. So Micheal kind of manipulated him and asked him to give him medicine that is like for induced comas, and he was using that to sleep. I feel like on the day that he passed away, he must have felt very upset about something, so much so that he felt lost, like not lost, but loss, LOSS, and bereavement, over life, over something in general. I'm not one to be able to tell you that because I don't know. So much so that he didn't get to see his blessings, his children, his family, the things he loved, life. He loved life before, but this was all clouding. This depression, this isolation, this bereavement, this loss was all clouding his thoughts, And then he asked for more of that medicine and then had an overdose. Like, it's awful that was the last thought that was going through his mind. The last emotions that he was feeling was loss and betrayal. Kiki, oh my god, he threw the thing down and he is so mischievous. Ah! He flew right at me. Kiki swooped me. In Australia, cockatiels do that to people. They just swoop them. They just fly right at them. So for the crossing energy, he had the Fool. Now the Fool, I feel like this is him setting on the journey in the afterlife. He has a very prominent place in the afterlife where he's still helping. Eh! Kiki! He swooped me again. Oh, Kiki always ruins my readings. What is it, boy? What? What do you want? Jesus. he's still helping, he's still doing things, he's still raising vibrations, he's still raising the general consciousness and the frequencies around us. He has a hand in this, in feeling good in all of us. So if you are, if you like him, if you have been touched sorry if you have been touched by Michael Jackson, oh my god sorry, Michael, I'm so sorry if you have been, you know what, by Michael Jackson in your life, growing up, in your heart, if he has touched your heart, there you go. That's a good way to put it. I promised myself I would not say anything to aggravate him, because every time I contact him, I always say something that annoys him, and he always leaves. It's like foot and mouth disease. No, I mean, touch the hearts of all of us. So if you're a fan and you had him touch your heart, he's there around us. I still talk to him. I still need him. I still pray to him, and like, not that he's a god or anything, but he's a god, you know, girl. You know, he's like hot as fuck, fine as fuck, everything, everything. But no, I mean, like, he's I still thank him and talk to him. Kiki, you're killing me. What am I supposed to do? Like, not post this reading? What do you want? What is it? What is it, boy? Why you keep swooping, mama? Oh, I'm crazy. Like, he's driving me nuts. He's driving me up the wall. My gosh. I'm gonna start this over again. So if you feel like Michael has touched your heart as you were growing up, if you feel like he was there for you when no one else was, just know that he's around us. He's around us, and he still has a hand in this. The Fool is like him setting off on his journey in the afterlife. I feel like in the afterlife, he still has a hand in helping us. He still has a hand in making sure that we're all okay, and raising frequencies and vibrations, and making sure that everything is okay with planet Earth, which was very important to him. He had a lot of charity work, the Heal the World Foundation, all that stuff. Like, that wasn't him, it wasn't a gimmick. That was so him being so genuine and genuinely concerned for human nature and us as a species. So the Fool card sees him leave the afterlife, or leave this life into the afterlife, with a boost of energy, carefreeness, freedom. He's able to travel all around into dimensions, and it gives him a lot of freedom. Now I kind of want to pull some cards to clarify the day of passing, because this is, I just want to, okay. Oh, okay. So he has the 10 of Cups. Now this is like happy, 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 joy, 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 joy. It's celebration, it's joy. I feel like he's happy. He's happy now in the afterlife. He's happy. He reached his potential, and he's not regretful or anything. And oh, wow, bitch. I was like, why did I say the Hermit? And then the Hermit came up again. Now, if you remember, the Hermit was the first card from his childhood. And now he had it again on his last day. I feel like that's full circle, you know? I feel like his life ended in a full circle kind of way, where he doesn't regret anything. He's at peace. He's able to he's able to withdraw into himself now and think without the interruptions. See? This was him before, and now look, this is him now. Oh, Michael, you poor thing. My poor little baby. So that was the tarot portion of the reading. Now I'm going to set up the pendulum reading. I have a couple of questions I want to ask him, and this is where it's going to get saucy, bitch. So stay tuned, Space Pimps. Yay, yay. Farrokh will be right back. So we are now ready to get started on the pendulum portion of the reading. Before we contact any sort of spirit, what should we do? That's a nice little quiz for you. Yep, you got it. We cast a circle of white light, circle of clarity, circle of honesty, of truth, of purity around this reading, around this room, around this house. Make sure we attract the good spirits. This is really good practice, because we don't want to attract, any bad spirits that might want to come and sabotage. So this is my wand. We are ready to go. Get rid of all the bad. Goo-goo's the what? The bad. JoJo's the what? The bad, hombres. Ain't coming by here. No sorry, Bob. Nope. Alright. So, if you wish to participate, Space Pimps, you could close your eyes and imagine a circle of white light around you, around my reading. That will help amplify. If you do not wish to participate, just close your eyes and listen to the words that I'm saying, and it'll be ultra effective as well. So close your eyes. I'll do the same. O source energy, O higher power, O angels, O ancestors, O universe, O spirit guides, O Dr. Patterson, O Mother Mary, please cast a circle of white light, a circle of purity, a circle of innocence, a circle of truth around this reading, around this room, around this house. I am casting a circle of white light, circle of truth, of purity, and honesty around this room, around this reading, around this house. Oh, Micheal Joseph Jackson, I am calling upon you to contact me through the pendulum. If you wish to speak to me, please let your presence be known. Through the pendulum, you are allowed to move it in any way, shape, or form so that we could communicate. I intend to speak to Micheal Joseph Jackson. Any bad, any evil, any wrongdoers will be banished. I intend to speak to Micheal Joseph Jackson. Any wrongdoers or evil or wrong malicious spirits will be banished by the circle of white light, the circle of light that I am casting around this room, around this reading, around this house. O spirit guides, O Dr. Patterson, O Mother Mary, O higher power, O source energy, O angels, O ancestors, please cast a circle of white light, of purity, of innocence, of honesty, of truth, of good around this room, around this reading, around this house. Amen. Alright, so we casted a circle of white light, and we are ready to get started on the pen. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Oh, Micheal Joseph Jackson, do you wish to speak to us today? Make the pendulum go around crazy if you wish to speak to us. That's a yes. Okay. Stop, please. Thank you. Micheal Joseph Jackson, show us what a yes looks like. Show us what a yes looks like. So around and around and around is yes. Alright. Stop, please. Thank you. Show us what a no looks like. What does a no look like? So side by side like that is a no. Alright? Okay. So my first question for you, Micheal Joseph Jackson, is, did you have a nice childhood? Were you happy as a child? Were you happy as a child? No. No, that's the answer, is no, my poor baby. Did you feel like your childhood was robbed from you? Did you not have a childhood? Was it robbed from you, my love? Was it robbed? Your childhood is gone. It's gone. Yeah. Okay, so did music make you happy, Micheal? Did it make you happy, music? Did it make you happy? Was music a source of happiness for you? Did music make you happy? Yes, he's giving me a yes. Music made him happy. Okay. Do you have any albums after the 2001 Unbreakable that were unreleased? Do you have any albums after 2001 Unbreakable that was unreleased? Do you have any albums that were after the 2001 Unbreakable that was unreleased? A lot of albums that were unreleased after the 2001 Unbreakable? Okay. Now, amongst them, do you have a History 3? Do you have a History 3? Is there a History 3? No. No, there isn't a History 3. Are we still good? Do you guys still see the pendulum? I can't see anything. Yeah, you can still see the pendulum. Okay. Now, I just wanted to ask, did your father, Joe, when you were a child, did he inject you with hormones to deter puberty? Your father, Joe, did he inject you with hormones to deter your puberty? Did he inject you with hormones to deter your puberty? Yes. The answer is yes. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Did you Joe passed away three days before the anniversary of your passing. Did you meet him? Did you meet his spirit? When Joe passed away, your father, were you there to meet his spirit? Yeah. Good son. Such a good son. He was there to meet his father's spirit despite all the pain that his father caused him in his life. Such a noble man. Were you and Conrad Murray friends? You and Conrad Murray. Were you friends with him? Were you friends with Conrad Murray? Yes? Thank you, please. Thanks. Were you friends with Conrad Murray because he was a shoddy physician? Were you friends with Conrad Murray because he was a shoddy physician? Were you friends with him because he was a shoddy physician? No. No, that had nothing to do with it. He was friends with him for the sake of being friends with him, okay. Did Conrad Murray betray you? Did Conrad Murray betray your trust and betray you? Yeah? Yes? Okay. Thank you. Did Conrad Murray cause your death intentionally? Conrad Murray, did he cause your death intentionally? Intentionally, did he cause your death? Yes? Okay. Stop, please. Thank you. Are we still good? Yeah, we're still good. Can you still see the pendulum, guys? Yeah, you can still see the pendulum. You're still good. Alright. Were you murdered, Michael? Were you murdered? Yes. Yes, he was murdered. Were you murdered by Joseph? Were you murdered by Conrad Murray? Michael Joseph Jackson, were you murdered by Conrad Murray? Were you murdered by Conrad Murray? Yes. Yes. Okay. Did Conrad Murray get paid by Sony? Did Sony pay Conrad Murray to murder you? Did Sony pay Conrad Murray to murder you? Yes. Yes. Did Conrad Murray murder you? Oh, I already asked that one. Okay. Did Sony have hand in your death? Did Sony murder you? Were you killed by Sony? They put a hit on you? Yes. Sony did put a hit on him. Okay, now here's another question for you, Michael. Did Sony poison Prince? Did music moguls, did they murder Prince as well? Did they murder Prince as well, music moguls? Yeah. Big shots, they put a hit on Prince as well? Yes. Okay. Are your kids biologically yours, Michael? Are they biologically yours or are they adopted? Are those your children? They're biologically yours? Biologically? Yes. Okay. Were they adopted? Were your children adopted? Were your children adopted? Were they adopted, your children? No. Okay. No. Were you involved in the composing of the Sonic the Hedgehog level soundtracks? Were you involved in that? Were you involved in the Sonic the Hedgehog level soundtracks? Yes. I don't know if you guys could hear, but there's a child screaming bloody murder outside. I hope he's okay. I hope he didn't fall on his face, my poor baby. Alright, so were you happy? Michael, were you happy at the end of your life? Were you happy? At the end of your life, were you happy? He was happy at the end of his life. Okay. Are you happy with your likeness being used in holograms? Are you happy with your likeness being used in holograms? Are you happy with your likeness being used in holograms? Are you happy? No, he's not happy with his likeness being used in holograms or his music. Is it because Sony is going to, is it because of the money? Sony's gonna take it all? Is it because of the money? Yeah, it's because of the money. Is it because Sony is going to be using you in your death? Do you feel like you're used by them? Give me a big answer. Do you feel like you're used by Sony? They used you ill? Yes. Yeah, are we still good on time? Yeah, we're still good on time. We're almost done. Okay. Alright, Micheal. Thank you so much for speaking with us today. Do you like the reading we had today? Was this okay? Were you comfortable with this? No? Are you still mad at me? Are you still mad at me for before? Are you still mad at me for before? No, he's not mad at me anymore. Bless your heart, Micheal. I always goof up, but you always forgive me. I love you very much, my Mike. Okay, can you say goodbye? Say goodbye to them. Say goodbye to everyone. We told them everything. We told them how you were hurt by Sony, how everyone took advantage of you. That was the message you wanted to get across. I know you were. Oh, Micheal, just one last question, and I hope that this doesn't it doesn't overstep any boundaries, but did Sony have hand in the trial? Did Sony frame you? Yeah, that's a good question. Did Sony frame you in the trial? Sony, did they frame you for the trial? Yeah, he was framed by Sony. He didn't touch anybody. Sony just tried to get him. Alright, and say goodbye. Say bye. Bye, 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 bye. Bye, guys. Alright, Space Pimps, thus concludes the video. I hope you enjoyed watching. It's a bit of a longer video, but it's packed with a lot of information. If you made it this far, you guys are the best. My Space Pimps, my OGs. I love you very much. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video to any Micheal fans that would like to know what is on his mind upon after passing. And I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope Kiki didn't mess it up too much, because Kiki was all up in there as usual. Love you. See you later. Bye.